Three Quebec cabinet ministers visited Kahnawake to participate in two separate meetings with Grand Chief Michael Delisle Jr. on Monday, November 25th. Representatives from the MCK and Tewatohnhi'saktha, Kahnawake's Economic Development Commission, met with the ministers to discuss issues regarding Highway 30. Grand Chief Delisle first met with Aboriginal Affairs Minister Elizabeth Larouche to discuss current relations between Kahnawake and Quebec.
Her first meeting in Kahnawake, I've met Minister Larouche previously, but this time we're interested in talking about overall relationship with Quebec. We've had some issues in the past year since my meeting with Pauline Marois to go over fiscal matters relating to whether it's gasoline or other products in the community, as well as, like I said, overall relationship. She brings about some of the issues that she's been dealing with out there, bringing in the possibility of another adult education with some French components for our meeting the needs to get outside of Kahnawake labor and workforce. So that was very interesting. We talked about the Enbridge very briefly and Quebec's position. We'll be sending an entourage, a team here with a chief and legal representation to their parliament sometime in the next 2 weeks to talk about consultation. Quebec has taken a position already. We've made a presentation to National Energy Board, which they're aware of. Now it's time to dot the I's and cross the T's in terms of that true consultation from the province of Quebec. They've agreed that through my meeting with Charest in the past, Pauline Marois has agreed to maintain that direction in the return of lands, which is very good. On the Highway 30 lands, the 500 acres. So that was briefly talked about. But some of the other issues that we've tried to nail down through the QKR tables, we haven't been able to get to. So we feel that it's not getting the political push and or will from her level and the other levels in speaking with other ministers, which we haven't done, we haven't been able to do. So we're asking to kind of grease the wheels and see if she can give an additional push so we have other ministries involved at the tables, whether it's deputy ministers or beyond, to assure that our issues are being dealt with. Then we met with three ministers, herself and two others at Autoroute. It's an ongoing road tour, if you will, of an 8-minister team that was put together in the late winter, early spring to talk about development along Highway 30.
Interestingly, we were the only single community that was presenting in the process. The other communities were represented by their regional councils, which we are not a part of. So we had the opportunity of meeting individually as a community with the ministers. They were very receptive to our proposals. They obviously cannot make a decision, but they enjoyed hearing what we're planning to do with the lands in terms of intermodal, multimodal, distribution centers, warehousing, truck stops, and the amount of employment opportunities there are and revenue that can be created for the community as well as for the region. And they were also interested in hearing what types of specific projects they could embark upon to help Kahnawake realize its objectives. There's opportunities that are going to pass the region by if there's no strong collaborative efforts to promote the area for development. So the challenge here is to get up and running as soon as we possibly can and have the right systems in place, support infrastructure, in order to be an attractive location.
I think it was a very good meeting, not only for economic development and the relationship between Kahnawake and Quebec, but I think more importantly, because they had three ministries here, where in other places they've only had one show up at these, what they consider consultation sessions, what we considered information to them, tells us that we play an important key role. And I think that was the message that was delivered. In light of the fact that 4 surrounding municipalities still continue to push on the legal case against Quebec, which they don't feel will have any bearing, which we don't feel will have any bearing. And unofficially we hear that Canada is still preparing to move forward in additions to reserve in terms of those 500 acres. So we have real development possibilities here. And like I said, I think the presentation went extremely well.